Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
Hi everyone, Jason Hunt here, inviting you to join us every Saturday morning for news, the week's headlines in science fiction, fantasy, horror, comic books, video games, plus Comic-Con updates and the weather, and the occasional interview along the way. We call it Good Morning Multiverse. We hope you join us every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, right here on Sci-Fi For Me TV.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, your host for tonight, the senior managing editor here at criticalblast.com, the chief envelope licker for Critical Blast Logistics, the myopic proofreader for Critical Blast Publishing, and I do answer the phone and help with your data needs for your crowdfunders with Critical Blast Consulting. And I'm also apparently wearing my glasses at just the right angle so you can just, get passwords and everything off the reflection. Good detective could do that. I've been binging The Mentalist lately, so I'm, keyed into these characters who pick up on all the little clues that nobody's seeing. So I'm in that kind of a mindset. Binging, it's horrible because now it's like, you find your favorite show and you're like, I'll just start at the beginning and watch an episode. And then 7 hours later, you haven't done anything and your butt's numb. So we got to do something about that. Chat is active already tonight. Welcome, guys. Pops and Zant here to remind you there's only 6 spots left for CromCon 28, the last weekend of this month. Mike Walters is here sharing the live stream and saying hi. Appreciate that. Tune in to Mike at the top of the next hour over at the mic stand for niche news. Woody, I see you out there sending I have no idea what that is. These little stickers that they give us on YouTube, I don't know what they are. I'm going to have to put if you're a member, you get a little Critical Blast badge put up there. It's the only sticker we put up. Infinite Pixels. Okay. I don't know what that means either, but thank you for the Infinite Pixels. I do appreciate it. Tonight, we are going to go into crowdfunded comics world again. Indiegogo this time around. I am going to be your little lamb, and you are going to be my shepherd boy, because we are going to address a comic book called Do You See What I See? And apparently it's not a Christmas tale. I was completely wrong on the title of that one. Here to help set me straight is creator Nick Brewster. Nick, how are you tonight, sir? Or this morning? It's a big world.
That's right. Yeah, I'm really good. Thanks for having me on.
Glad to do it. Let me get the let me get our cute little overlay going here because Pop says I have boring backgrounds. So Pops, this is for you. I got so many things in here loaded now I can never scroll to the right spot. There we go. Now we're ready to talk comics from within the comics. So tell me about yourself and your relationship with comics. I mean, why did you decide that this was a worthwhile endeavor?
Yeah, sure. So my background's in film actually, and I worked in film distribution here in Australia for quite a while, and so doing acquisitions of independent movies and working for companies that put them into the theaters over here. So I was doing a lot of reading of scripts and things like that. But I was a writer as well, so I always wanted sort of to branch out and do my own writing. And I wrote this script as a film script, and it was producing it, and we got to like we'd cast it all up, we'd put some finance together, and we had some pretty good names in it. But then about 2 weeks before we hit pre-production, the finance fell over, and that was kind of just before COVID, and then the whole film industry altogether pretty much stopped for a while.
Yeah, everything went in the crapper.
Yeah, so I was just sort of looking. I didn't want to just abandon the project because I've been working on it for a couple of years already. So I started looking around at other options, and that's when I came. I thought, look, it could probably suit a graphic novel with the slasher elements, and there's plenty of action in it. I kind of started doing some research about how to put it together. I'd read a few the old Vertigo books, but that's the kind of storytelling that attracts me. So in terms of comics and stuff as well. So and I kind of came across this community.
You're not the first film person I've talked to who's had a script for film that they decided to make into a graphic novel, and I guess I guess it's an easier transition to go from a script to a graphic novel layout than it is to go from a script to a narrative novel, because you really have to reformat and rewrite a lot more for a novel to adapt everything.
Yeah, that's right. I found the adaptation process pretty interesting, and it was a lot of fun as well. So I think just making the graphic novel was so much fun. I think I'm just going to do these from now on if I can. Yeah. Even though I like writing in a structure of screenplays sometimes.
keep bringing them. Frog G, thank you for throwing the link out there, man. Appreciate it. The link for Do You See What I See, by the way, anytime during this video, feel free to click on it below the video frame here. It won't take you out of the interview. You'll still get to listen. Opens in a new tab. Throw some money at the project. We're going to show it up here in just a little bit. So you've decided to do a graphic novel with this. And I mean, you decided a while back, this thing's finished, I believe, right? This is...
Yeah, so we spent just over a year drawing it. So I basically came across, I was looking at how to put a graphic novel together because I was a complete rookie. I didn't really know anything. So I came across one of Ethan's videos, early videos, where he was talking about page rates and things like that. So then that sort of led me into finding out about all these independent comics and stuff. So that's fantastic. And then a year, I found an artist online here in Australia. She's a Korean girl, and then Australian colorist, and then I got Eric Weathers on to do the letters. And,
oh, nice.
Yeah, the whole book's 176 pages, and it's finished. And so now we just got to get it printed. So that's what the campaign is really about. Yeah, raising some finance to do a print run.
So Australia, for everybody in America, it's actually a pretty big place. With your artist and your colorist all being in Australia, that doesn't necessarily mean you could just like walk down to the drugstore and talk with them over candy and sodas. Did you have any in-person meets with them on the project though to go over things?
No, I didn't meet. I'm originally from Melbourne, but I'm up in Queensland now. But my artist is from Melbourne, and I didn't meet up with her until the book had been drawn. Basically, I went down there and we caught up. But at least the time doesn't throw us out too much when we're trying to communicate. Yeah. But my colorist is up even further north. So it's like a 4-hour flight, I think, between where my colorist is and the artist is. So there's no meetups, just casually down the road.
Yeah, I know projects where it's like, my artist is in Portugal, but the inker is in the Philippines, and it's like there was never a good time where everybody could get together. Somebody's doing this at 4 a.m. And talking. But it is cool that you found everybody sort of domestically, kept it all in the continent.
I think that was reasonably important for the first book to do, and just it does make it a little bit easier with communication and not waiting too long for people to come back to you on something.
Now, the IGG says that this is a massive 176-page full color graphic novel, and 176 pages, that is very, very massive. Delivery date is set for November, so 3 months down the road.
So
that tells me there's still production stuff.
Look, it might come in sooner than that. I'm talking with some printers in Melbourne, and I'm going to get it printed as soon as possible. But I just thought I'd put the delivery date a few months down the road.
So you've got some wiggle room. You tell them November, you deliver October.
That's the plan.
Everyone thinks you're a genius. Gotcha. Because it is done, right? I didn't overspeak that. It's
done. And in fact, the digital version is all completed and ready to go. People can read it right now digitally if they want to. So
excellent.
As you'll see in the campaign. Yeah.
Well, let me make the background boring here. Sorry, Pops, so that I can bring this up and let's take a look at things here, folks. This campaign is at $29.33 US dollars out of a $348 goal. I know it looks funny. It's Australian dollars originally. You should see when it's Canada. It's like, wow, you made a fortune. So 842% of goal, which tells me right now that there's there's an interest in this in slasher comics.
Yeah, it's a satire as well, so it goes across a couple of genres, I guess. But we've had a couple of people who have, I guess, just wanted to have a taste, so they've got the digital version, and then they've come back and bought a physical copy of it. So I think it's a good read for people. So I'm looking forward to more people having a look at it and seeing if we can get some word of mouth going on it, and a bit more talk as well.
So there's Woody's glad I took it down. He was getting distracted by the blonde in frame 2 getting spanked. I put her there just for you, Woody. But when you're adapting a screenplay into a comic form, specifically with a slasher, I mean, the slasher films rely on long drawn out distance shots that slowly come in. You've got the violin string that's running that same note for an interminable amount of time. It's just ramping up the tension. You have a lot of things that go into building the suspense in a film. How do you make that happen in a comic book with the pacing and the shots?
Yeah, I guess it's the way it's structured is there's a bunch of set pieces which are sort of put together, and so there's probably each set piece is maybe they can go up to about a dozen pages of comic book form, and so that's so you just you try and draw suspense out of through that through those pages, and it's a challenge. But I think with this particular book, the first half is a lot about setting up the characters, and it's a whodunit, and so there's a lot of red herrings and things like that. And then the second half, it just really takes off, and there's heaps of blood and heaps of gore and heaps of action. So
is this supernatural kind of slasher, or is this more I'm just a serial killer in a mask? I'm a Jason. I'm a Michael Myers.
I think if I had to describe it as something, it's probably a bit tonally something like a Scream kind of slasher. So it's not. It's like the Psycho in a mask, but it's more of a whodunit rather than it's the stalking killer of Halloween. And even with the satire and the comedy of it, it's probably leans itself a little bit more towards how Scream is as well. And
now with all the best slasher films, at least when I was a younger person, in my teens, I was driven to see the slasher films, not because there was going to be blood, not because there was going to be guts, but at some point somebody's going to get naked. And I was there for those 13 seconds. That's all I came in for. You're kind of teasing that on the cover here, and of course we'll see as we go further. There's a nice shower scene, but is this what you would call a mature reader's book, or is this like, yes, it's mature, but we've pulled it back so that more people can actually view it, kind of stuff?
It's definitely for mature ages. Probably more for the blood and the gore that's eventually in it. There's nothing gratuitous in nudity or anything like that. But there's a little bit in there just for it has
because
all the
it's a slasher film. You've got to. You don't get slasher points without it.
That's right.
And it's funny. We're like, blood, guts, knife, slash. It's a real cultural difference between the United States and the rest of the world, where it's like, slash, blood. Oh my God, that's a boob. Whereas everywhere else is like, it's a boob. Oh my God, he's bleeding. It's a real shift of perspective as to what's acceptable and what's too much.
I've noticed that.
And I don't know if Australia is that way or not, but
no, I wouldn't say so. Maybe a little bit. We kind of have an interesting mix of US influence and British influence here. So it's a nice, interesting combo.
Well, I do love this cover. It's got a cinematic feel. The logo looks like it was designed right for a movie poster. This is almost too involved to be a comic book.
Cover. I think it might be because the film people who I hang out with and help me put it together and stuff. I think. Yeah,
but you know what? It's okay though. I would say it's too involved if it was going to be a series. But this is a story, one story. This is a graphic novel, but wait, all the best slashers come back, don't they?
Maybe we've got a couple more stories up our sleeve.
Yeah, I mean, what slasher film worth its chops hasn't had at least 3 movies so far?
That's right. Some of them go a bit too far. But yeah. Maybe 3 sounds good.
Oh, Friday the 13th Part 10 never happened. Come on. They only did that because they were like, come on, guys, we've got to get to Part 13. You know we do. It's where we end everything. So who's the guy in the? Oh, you can't tell me who the guy in the mask is. And it could be a girl. Could be a girl in a mask. Sometimes you get tricked. Folks, if you're going to scroll through this and get a preview of it, this is probably the most generous preview of any graphic novel I've seen on Indigo. You're getting 17 pages here. You're basically getting a full chapter, almost a full 22-page comic here that you're looking at.
Yeah, I've put the entire prologue up there for people to have a read of. So it's basically a little story of what happens 1 year before our main character, our heroine, gets to the college.
And it's all these college kids having an 80s party.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the funny part is that there's very few. I mean, we have this image of the 80s in our mind if we were there, and I was. But when you actually look back, there were only very few people who had iconic looks. Everybody else was just not so much. And I laughed when the guy shows up and said, "Hey, look, I'm Rick Astley." Why? Because you're dancing? Okay.
Yeah.
But the Prince character was cool.
Yeah, I've tried to put quite a lot of humor into it as well. So yeah, we have the mix of humor with then the action and the blood later on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right here. Here's the guy. He's like, "Hey, I'm Rick Astley. Come on." Why are you wearing a Flasher's costume? And then of course the girl gets. Oh, well, that's not her. She's just getting grabbed in a different way. Just lots and lots and lots of pages here, but I'm trying to get to the MC Carey moment.
Oh yeah, it's coming. Yeah, we got Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer.
Yeah, it's okay. There's the guy in the ghost costume. Says it's Hammer time, and they're making him get up there and do his do the MC Hammer impersonation. And right when he says stop, it's Hammer splat. Body dropped behind him. We don't even get to see it. We don't get to see it.
No.
And that's because Indiegogo doesn't want to offend your sensibilities, people.
That's right. Yeah. Not sure exactly what we can show and what we can't.
Well, here's the thing about Indiegogo. They will let you put up somebody with a knife to their eyeball while they're flashing their breasts. And it'll stay up for 60 days. And as soon as the money's all in, they're like, oh, we're going to hold your money now because you got something on here that violates our TOS. Yeah. It's like, why didn't you tell me this day one?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I've seen some people, talking about that.
So it's iffy. But you know what? You've got the money. They're just holding a little bit more interest, a few more days of collecting interest.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
It'd be good to be able to show some of the more of the slasher elements, but I don't want to give away any spoilers, obviously, but and also what I can put up there. So.
But the art is the panels on this. I'm really liking the choreography of the movements. I mean, you can almost see this dive play out in your head from panel to panel here, and that's what you're supposed to. It's happening in the gutters here, folks, in between the panels.
So Ji Soo is the Korean artist, Australian Korean now, but I would sort of just give her an outline of the panels and how I felt it should be, but then I gave her enough license to add in panels to be able to tell a story or take away and stuff. Yeah, we work really well together, actually.
Yeah, it's got a nice flow to it. The panels are. I really like this swim panel here because it's not your grid. It's got I don't know what you would call it, but it's breaking the structure, the rigid structure that you normally see with panels. She does that a lot here. That's a good
Yeah.
deal. Some stagger those panels around. So I'm going to try and get back up here. So the one thing you didn't have, now that I've got to grab a hold of my scroller, you've got all the panels, but you don't tell us what we're getting over here. So we're going to scroll back up and look to the right.
Right up the top.
And take a look here. So this is funny. They give me American dollars up here, but then I've got to look under here to get the American dollars. Just because the audience is, here is going to want to know what that is. You've got the ultimate bundle. You have to open this up to see what that is. You get the hard. Okay, so you're doing a hardcover and a paperback on top of the digital. So $98. It's 178 pages for both of these folks. So 178 page hardcover is a brick. This is not. You can take out an intruder in your house with a book that thick.
So I've tried to keep things reasonably simple. So we're doing a hardcover and a paperback and the digital, but we don't have any stretch goals as yet. So I want to keep fulfillment simple, really, as well for our first campaign. So they're the three. They're basically they're the three options, and you can make it. You can. I've made the perks so that you could get them all, or you could just pick up one.
And you know what, the add-ons make it so that you can always just say, "Here's the book." Everything else just a la carte.
That's right. Yeah.
What are the dimensions on the book? I mean, is the hardcover taller and wider than the soft cover?
No, I've done them both as the same. They're just the standard US graphic novel size.
US graphic novel size, okay.
Yeah. But the hardcover will be the same size as the paperback. But we're doing that the hardcover just as a limited edition, and they'll all be signed and numbered individually as well. So.
You can always get just the digital for $20 US. Yes, $20 for digital, but it's 178 pages, so it's a lot of digital. It's not your typical $3 20-page comic, folks. Come on.
Yeah, and also I was trying to work out a way to eliminate some of the problems with shipping. So if people in the US or around the world, yeah, exactly. So if they if they do buy that digital version, they then unlock a secret perk which has free shipping on a paperback option.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, free shipping is a great, fantastic deal. I was gonna say, if you have shipping problems, you come to us. That's what we do.
No, I think I'm going to send you a whole bunch of paperbacks, Jane.
I'll be happy to do my part. You can get the hardcover with the free digital or the softcover with the free digital. Hardcover is $59. That's not bad for a hardcover, folks. Now, I just came off of my second Indiegogo. My first one doesn't really count because it was just a half-assed attempt and several years ago. So basically, I just came off my first Indiegogo. We did a horror anthology. It was hardcover. It was signed by two of the writers, Mike Barron and Hart Fisher. And it didn't burn up the world. I had $1,000 goal on it. We came in short of half of that, but it was not a hard fixed goal. It was going to be done either way. So it was cool. Everybody who ordered is getting the book signed and numbered. But this is your first book, right?
Yeah.
First crowdfunding? Okay. Yep. Are you getting the response that you anticipated?
Oh yeah, look, I didn't have any expectations at all, really, because even though I've sort of been hanging around in the background of Comicsgate and independent comics communities, but I know nobody really knows who I am yet or anything about our work. So I came into this with no expectations. I was making the book regardless. So we'd gone ahead and made it, and then yeah, we're getting a good response so far.
Get on enough shows and you'll get known. Yeah, Mike, I did get it. I put it up on the screen earlier here. Why didn't you hear the girl cry for help? Because never going to give you up. But I don't think the Rick Astley guy is probably the villain. You have this is what we typically call a retailer tier.
Yeah, exactly.
For 5 of the hardcovers, $160. That's a deal. That's a very good deal.
Yeah. I just made that available in the US, and then the hardcovers at the moment, I think I'll just put that just shipping to Australia because of just how expensive that might get to try to ship them.
Yeah,
even in batches. So.
I get that, especially since you're printing them in Australia.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
One of the things, we've dealt with creators in Australia before. Some of them print in Australia and then send the books in a great big box here because it's cheaper to send. I always say it's cheaper to send 100 books in one box than 100 books in 100 boxes. Even after I split them all up. And some of them, are like, hey, I found a printer in the US. The printer's just going to ship them straight to you. That's what happened with the Company Men, with Kemosabe. Exilium, that's the one I was thinking of that was printed in Australia and then shipped over in mass. Okay. So it's multiple ways.
I've been looking at both. I've been looking at both options as well, actually. But I'm leaning towards printing in Australia, where some of the boys, Bancroft and the Bartons.
Whoever Bancroft's printing with, go with him. Because I've got that book, the Lucent, the first book, and it was. I mean, I praised the writing and the art, which of course Michael does all of it, but I didn't really touch on the fact that it was physically a superior printed book. It was really, really good. Yes,
I picked that up as
it is also better to ship 100 books in one box than to ship one book in 100 boxes. You've really got to get them received in order to be able to read the book that way. Now this looks like, do you have different covers on the hardcover versus the soft cover, or are they just?
They're different covers, yeah. So the hard cover is just the full mask wraparound, essentially. Yeah, that was up on the screen there now. So that was done by the main artist, G, as well.
If you're looking for stretch goals that are interesting, let me introduce you to Sec6 on Twitter. He's a mask maker, and he's a Hollywood mask maker. Cool. So he you could put the mask up as a stretch goal or as like a premium item that people could buy.
That could be pretty cool. Yeah.
So that is like is that a gas mask? Did you
it is. It's just that is based on a old Soviet gas mask.
Did you have to find models to send to your artist?
No, there's enough stuff online actually to do that with. And
that's what I meant. Photos. Photo
definitely. Definitely. So but I did, and it's sort of I was looking for something which would also fit in with the broader story and the plot. So there's actually a reason why this mask is in there rather than just a random
just to cover the killer's face.
Yeah, yes, that's right, exactly.
So what's the body count in this? Don't get attached to anybody, or
no, don't get attached to anyone at all.
Are we talking Game of Thrones level here?
What is it? I don't know. Is it? It's definitely around. It's more than a dozen, I'd say. And there's some creative kills and things like that. So.
Hey, Pops, you got to get Nick on your show. Get him over there to the madness and talk about Do You See What I See? 176-page graphic novel slasher horror thing. I mean, dude, just look at some of this art here. Now this is not your high action stabbing scenes here. This is all the prologue, but just the facials. the body language. Nobody, I see a lot of new artists, and they can draw a figure, but at the same time, it looks posed like mannequins standing about. This has a,
Yeah.
and I don't know how you don't do that because I'm not an artist, but this has more of a fluidity to it.
Yeah, I think G's really good with the expressions of the characters as well. There's a sequence later in the book which is 6 pages with that, and it doesn't have any lettering at all. It's all done through the art, the storytelling.
Yeah, that's the magic of comics, is you use them both.
Yeah.
And again, just loving the panel structure here as well. What comics has she done? And I keep saying she. Let me get her name. Say her name.
Jisoo is her name. Jisoo.
Yeah,
Kim.
Jisoo Kim.
Yeah. Officially this is her first comic graphic novel, actually. So she does a lot of realism art, I guess.
Okay, so she's like a fine artist.
Yeah, but I know she'd worked back in Korea. I think she'd done a couple of smaller bits of art, but she'd also done some storyboarding with Disney, I believe, as well. So.
Okay, so when you found her in Australia, what was the search like for that? I mean, how many artists did you have to go through seeing samples of the work before you're like, I want yours?
I spent a couple of months looking through portfolios and art. It was all online, but almost randomly just stumbled across G when I was looking on ArtStation, I think, and I was focusing my art, my search by that stage on Australians as well. But there aren't that, well, as far as I could tell, there weren't too many artists around in Australia either.
I know 2 of them. So has she done body horror kind of work before? Because it's one thing to know how to draw anatomy, it's another thing to know how to draw anatomy that's been mutilated and put in other places that is in a way it's not supposed to be, and still look natural.
Not that I've seen, but I'm really happy with the work, how it's come out in this. I was attracted to her art. She was actually just going to cafes and drawing the scene of what she'd seen in that cafe. But I thought the way she was doing the perspective was like spot
very
on.
Bohemian.
Yeah. So that's
I just noticed there are reflections in this guy's cape, cloak.
Yes.
And it looks like the reflections of him or herself.
That's right. Yeah. So that's little sneak peeks into other parts of the book as well.
Now who's your protagonist here? Who's the last girl? I believe is what they call it.
Yeah. So her name's Liz. So she's an Australian, and she goes over to study in the US. So there's a little bit influence of like the Italian giallo movies as well.
Good stuff.
Where it's always kind of like a foreigner who goes to another place, and then there's the gloved killer who sort of stalks them with a knife. But so Liz goes over to a college campus and kind of starts to. I wanted to bring a little bit of that in because when I started writing this, I started looking into some of the things that were happening on colleges, and I thought, it's all a little bit crazy. And I thought if we could explore victimhood in a slasher or embracing victim culture, I thought that would be quite an interesting take.
It would be
on a subject.
The cover, the mise en scène of the way that's not really right. What do they call it? Composition. The composition of the cover puts me in mind of the one of the original posters for Nightmare on Elm Street. I can see the subtitle. If Liz doesn't wake up screaming, she won't wake up at all.
Exactly. Yeah. No.
So she is I'm assuming dreaming about this killer. I don't know whether that's like she's
That's exactly
psychic
right.
connection or she's reliving nightmares of having things she's seen. You've said there's no supernatural, so I would take that to mean there's no psychic as well. It's just
No, it's spot on. She's dreaming about some things she's experienced with the killer.
Oh,
so yeah, good pickup. Yeah.
There are so many questions I want to ask, but they're so story specific that I know you can't answer them.
I know it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to talk about without giving things
all right,
away.
So what's the killer's modus operandi? Is it sort of like Jason? He's like whatever's nearby is going through your body, whereas Freddy was like, I've got my claws. I always use the claws, and I'm going to slice you up.
It's a bit of a combination of both. So the standard kitchen knife, large kitchen knife, is the main weapon, but also whatever is lying around at the time can be utilized.
Yeah, that's
and is.
Jason was great for that. It was almost like you could see, like boy and girl say, hey, everybody's gone off looking for the killer. Let's have sex. Why don't we do it in this room here where, there's like a closet and a chest of drawers and a great big battle axe nailed to the wall. I'm like, oh, plot point right there. Yeah, that's coming down. There was a great, I say great movie. I have really bad taste. There was a movie in the 80s called Student Bodies. I don't know if you've seen it.
I don't think so.
It was a satire on the whole slasher genre. In fact, every time somebody got killed, they'd ring a little bell and a body count, a banner would show up at the bottom of the page at the screen to tell you how many people had died so far. And there was a weapons selection scene where, again, boy and girl upstairs in bed, mom and dad have gone for the weekend, and the killer's broke into the house and he's looking for something to kill them with, and he opens up this cabinet and it's like this family just has like this arsenal in the china cabinet, and there's like butcher knives and cleavers and then like a medieval battle axe. It just went over the top, and and the whole time you hear his perspective, he's got this heavy breathing thing going on, and his hand is passing over all these weapons. No, not that. And he goes to the very bottom of the shelf there, and tucked into the corner is a box of paper clips, and he grabs that and says, yes. and when you see the bodies laying in bed, they've got all these unfolded paper clips sticking in them all over the place. He killed them with the paper clips.
That's awesome.
If you love slasher movies, it's worth a cheap laugh to find that one somewhere and rent it.
There's another one from the 80s called Aerobicide, where the killer's weapon is a giant safety pin. It's quite funny.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
I've stuck myself on. I've changed diapers before, so the cloth kind. So those will get you. So, how far are we into the campaign here? I mean, how many? Days?
Just over a week.
Oh, you've just barely started, and you're already 800%. You should. Are you one of the projects that they're promoting on the front page now? I mean, when you've got that high of a percentage, usually you start getting some.
Yeah, I think so. We've been starting to get a few backers coming directly from Indiegogo. Just the last couple of days, I think so. Yeah, and I think it is up. He's up.
Okay. Are you looking to go the next 60 and then in demand, or do you have a different kind of schedule plan for this?
I think we will. I'm just going to see where it's at the end of the first 30. But we'll probably extend it to 60, and then I'll definitely go in demand for a certain amount of time. But we're also we're building our website as well, which will
good.
Eventually move it across to our own website.
Or you can always go to that cgnow.net kind of thing too. A lot of people are going to their own websites. I'm seeing this with Denali's.com for the Immortal Mask. Obviously, Eric July has set the bar. Open your own website, sell your comic, make 3 million. That's that's the recipe. Not 3 million, but 3,000 now. I just refreshed the screen. You are up to
nice.
You have made what we call the shake and bake moment on our show here, and it goes a little something like this.
It's shake and bake, and I help.
Yeah. See, anytime a campaign goes up during our show, we take credit.
That's fantastic.
It's one of our viewers. It might not be, but it happened now. So post hoc ergo propter hoc, we're taking it. So thank you, whoever did that. Get this thing up over that $3,000 mark. I don't know how many dollary dues that is in Australian, but probably like 3,100, 3,200. And I'm just doing the rough math.
Our Aussie dollar is pretty terrible at the moment. I think it's over 4,000 Australian.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. Somebody ought to open up Indiegogo campaigns and sell anything. Just do it so you can get into the currency conversion market. See, you gave me $20 60 days ago, but when I collect it, it's actually $25 now, or worth 25. There's because they change it every day. It
does. Yeah, so that's why
our school professor taught us that.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't even know, on the perks, what the US dollars are going to be from day to day. Like it'll go up $1 or down $1 sometimes. So,
and I'm guessing that because the way Indiegogo works, you buy it now, or you pledge now. They take your money now. So I guess it's harder to play that currency exchange game because Indiegogo is the one playing it. They're the ones making the ups and downs on the market.
That's right. Yeah.
And Mike, let me know. Chris Tomulovich, our buddy who does the Great Cyclopean, is also opening his own store, online web store, HeroShack.com. All his books will be going through there. It's becoming the thing to do. In fact, I don't even think he didn't even crowdfund his last book. He just put it straight to the store.
Okay.
Because why crowd? If the book's done, you're going to do it anyway. Why give a slice of it to some website when you're going to do the same thing with that as you would with your own story? You're going to go on a bunch of podcasts. You're going to let people know it. You're going to market yourself. Get the word out.
I've already set my store up behind in the background actually, so I can just utilize the automation of sending out digital orders and things like that.
Yeah, it's not that hard. I've toyed with the idea of because I get all these overships from a lot of people, and I try to sell them, and I do sell them to retailers, and then send them the money back, and I make a little upcharge, not a cut. I up it. They say I want $10. I'm like, okay. I tell the retailer this book is $10.50. So you're selling through us. You make what you asked me to make for you. But I'd love to do it online. It's just that I'm still working on the code because I'm an IT guy. I'm a coder for 35 years. I'm working on the code that would add up the weights, look up the postal rate, and then let them decrement the inventory, fill out a whole form, and then say, oh, well, based on what all these books weigh and the extra 5.5 ounces of a Gemini mailer or a box and a bag, here's the weight. This is what it's going to cost. It shouldn't be that hard, but it is.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but you do have a secret. It's not much of a secret. You just broadcast it right there in great big bold letters.
That's right.
I don't think you know what that word means yet. But you do have a secret free shipping perk, and free shipping from Australia, folks. That's something. Now you're in Melbourne, which is the cheapest place in Australia to ship to. I found out.
Is it? Okay.
Oh yeah, I had a client had a book. He had two trade paperbacks. We're going to Sydney, and he said, "Okay, RJ, here, let me know what it's going to cost to ship them." I was like, And this was 6 months ago, 7 months ago. I was like, dude, it's going to be $85 to ship 2 books to Sydney.
Wow.
And he's like, I can't do that. I'm like, let me look. Well, we've got a hub in Melbourne because anytime we have books that are going to go to Australia, I ship them all to a guy in Melbourne, and then he breaks them up and does what I do here.
Yep. Nice.
Even though this was just going to one customer, I said, let me try it. I could send it to Melbourne for $60. No, for $40. Melbourne was $40 versus the $80. And then I was like, and from Melbourne to Sydney, I can do it for $12 more. So it was like, I saved $25 going around the ass end of the continent and then back up to the heart of it. Like, makes no sense at all, but we'll do it. And he's like, you saved me $25. Yay.
Nice. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've heard, the shipping coming from America to here is even worse than Australia to America.
It was a nightmare for a while. We got a handle on it finally, though. So we're doing all. I'm even surprised at some of the deals on shipping we're getting now that we're doing what we do, because last time I shipped a book to Australia, $30.
Yeah,
and that was a direct to a customer too. I didn't have to go through my hub.
Yeah.
So,
well, I've actually put if you just want to buy the paper book in America, I've put the shipping as $15 US.
Oh, that's fine. That's if you can pull that off, that's a great rate. And I think it's been cheaper to ship from Australia to the US the whole time anyway. It's for some reason it's the incoming stuff, and a lot of it I think was we're going to hold it for COVID kind of stuff for a long time there, because for a while I'm pretty sure they put a wall around Australia, martial law declared, and all that good stuff. Third world continent, but
there's some interesting lockdowns.
Yeah. So we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but like I said, all good slasher movies have the sequel. Can we expect, do you see what I see now, or something similar to that effect?
Yeah, definitely. That's the plan. So I want to do 2 more books in this Do You See What I See series, and they'll all be sort of structured like this long graphic novel format, and then we're working on some other projects which may be a little bit shorter books around the 50-page.
And now you can send the graphic novels back to the movie companies, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll adapt this into a film. And
we'll see.
It's a long way around getting it done.
Yeah. Although I'm pretty happy just with the graphic novels, to be honest. So, well, I don't know if I want to dip my toe back into producing movies. It wasn't as fun as making graphic novels.
No. Don't. Just license the thing. Sit back and be like Neil Gaiman with Sandman. Yeah, I wrote the thing 40 years ago. What, you want to make a movie? You get what? This check's for me. Thank you so much. Go make your movie.
That would be nice.
All right. So wrapping up here, Mike Walters is getting ready to fire off the mic stand in 6 minutes. Everybody head over there, hit that link, and get your niche news for the day. Find out what happened this day in niche history. Get all the latest news on comics, manga, and professional wrestling. They go together like peanut butter and sardines, I think, but it seems to be what everybody's into all at the same time. Frog G, yes, he's in our chat. He's putting up the links for everybody, so it is only fitting that he puts up the link for his own project, which is Voodoo Gods and Magic. So do check out that when you get a chance. Check out Frog G's. I think it's still in the coming soon stage, yes, because we haven't had him on the show yet. We will, Frog. We're looking forward to having you on here and talking about your project and getting you hopefully some backers. Sometimes we do that. We've shown that. Nick, thank you so much for slashing your way onto our show here and showing us your book. We really do appreciate you being on.
Thanks for having me. That's been good.
Still 50 days to go for the full length of the campaign. If you want to come back near the tail end of it, give it another boost, or try to give it another boost with us, definitely do that. Pops Van Zant, reach out to Nick and get him on your show. If you are looking for other shows, reach out to me and ask me. I'll be happy to make introductions to people. sounds like you're
Thanks.
familiar
Yeah.
with CG, so there's no conflict there going on to a CG show. So that kind of broadens the opportunities.
I'm happy to
Folks in
go
the chat-
on any shows.
Yeah. Well, I'll are you on Twitter?
Yeah. It's just Sir_Brew on Twitter.
Okay. Make sure that you send me a DM tonight so that I've got your ID there. Because we connected through email. And I will make some group DMs with you, introducing you to some people who do the shows.
I appreciate it.
Everybody in the chat tonight, thank you so much for being here. We don't have a show without you. We're just a podcast falling in the woods. And of course, as always, while you were here, we just hope you had a blast. Good night, everybody.